well, where do I start? What do I do? Now, there's first question is, do you have a buddy? It's kind of like, what was that? Finding Nemo. Do you have whatever? Anyway, if you do have a buddy that has not started yet and wants to get into it, then this whole idea of being Afrika Korps, being German, kind of goes out the window, because one of you should be British to be fun. And the way that you get started, just to make sure that you like it, I highly recommend that you get El Alamein first. El Alamein will come with unit cards, the rule booklet, some terrain, some dice, 2 German tanks, and 3 British tanks. So you guys can split it. It is $35 retail. If you split the cost with a friend, you take either the Germans or the British tanks, he takes the others and the corresponding dice, and I guess you share the rule booklet. But this is a good way to get started. Make sure you like the game. Is this a game that you can get into? Maybe practice painting on the models that come with it, just so that this is the game for you. So that's the best way to do it. And even if you don't have a buddy, maybe getting this is a good way to go if you're going to go into one of the other directions that I'm talking about. Okay, so the other question is, well, let's say you have a game group. Let's say you have a friend that already has models and you want to get started. Well, then I would say, that's at that point you're going to want to go with the Germans. Now, there's a couple ways that you can get started on that, and the best way that I think it is if you get the Rommel's Afrika Korps. It is $80. It's a bit pricey, but it's very simple. As you can see, you get 5 Panzer IIIs, 3 Panzer IVs, and 2 88s. All very useful. Now, if you max it out, like if you get the long guns for the Panzer IVs, that's going to be 30 points. If you get the up armored or the short gun, which is 8 points each, that's another 40 points. So that's 70 points. And then you add on the 2 88s, that's 82 points. So, the standard is 100 points, so you're going to be pretty good. Now, I suggest you start off with 50 points and escalate it from there. So you might have to make a different variation of the tank to stay under 50 because you're going to need all 8 tanks to make a proper company. So 50 points would probably, you could still make these long guns and then make these Panzer IIIs, the short-barreled, it's 5 centimeters, and that would be 20 points, and that would be 50 points. And then when you escalate to 65 points or something, then you go throw in the 88s and so forth, and then you start building around that. The good thing about it is that this not only comes with tanks, it comes with all these unit cards, a lot more than even what you get, and it comes with a rule booklet. That's a big deal if you're getting started on your own. Your buddy has his own British tanks, and you are getting the German tanks. Now, why German? Not only is it, there's something I missed. Not only is it cheaper and so forth, but thinking ahead, and I don't know when you're watching this video, but Eastern Front will be coming out next year. The only faction, I know, maybe the Italians will be in there, but the big factions will be in there are going to be the Germans. So whatever models you use here, you're going to be able to use for the Eastern Front. So the Germans are very efficient in this game that you could play in the North Africa theater, and later on when everybody's all hot for Eastern Front, guess what? You can use your models on the Eastern Front. So the Germans are definitely the way to go. Now you have, this is one way. Oh, it comes with decals, comes with the unit cards, rule booklet, so it's very complete for the $80. There are other ways to go cheaper, and maybe even more fun ways if you're a little bit more daring. So what you can do is go to a company called Plastic Soldier Company. They have a German Panzers. This would be the short barrel. If you be careful, make sure you get 15 millimeter. That's the size that you play with. And for about a little over $60, you can get 15 tanks. That's a lot of tanks. And I recommend, though, getting the later tanks. the JLMN. That's really what the tanks should be using, and you'd have the proper options for the tank. If you take a look at the sprues that you'll be getting with the Plastic Soldier Company, you can see here, this would be the short barrel, this will be the long barrel, this will be the up armored one, and these will come later in probably other books, or these are still mid-war tanks really, but they do show up in late war. But these are the ones that these three that we're using, and you can see here they use different parts, so it's much more complicated to get the Plastic Soldier Company. In addition to, if you're not afraid of putting together a very small model and you have the patience, then maybe Plastic Soldier Company is for you. The cons to it, well, the pros is that it's much cheaper. Cons is they don't have the decals, so you'll have to get a set of decals if you want. I'd highly recommend them. It really makes your models look a lot better. I mean, take a look. I've got a model here that doesn't, I didn't really finish it. Has no decals, not really anything special. But then you got here with the decals, just makes it look much nicer. I know it's hard to see, but some people tried painting on their numbers, and that's really hard. So you have a decal, and it goes on. You can see I've got, let's see if I can focus in on this. It's 15th Panzer, there we go, 15th Panzer symbol. So I like using the decals. So you definitely want to consider that you're going to have to get another set. That's another $13 that you're going to have to get for your Panzers if you go with Plastic Soldier Company. If you just want to get a set of 5, it would be about $25, I'd say. But that's definitely an option. Another option, and the reason why I say you get these versions, if you got the, where is it? Okay, if you got the Afrika Korps, you could get up to 82 points. You can start with 50 points and build your way up. It'll still work. With the Plastic Soldier Company, if you get a set of 5, I would recommend at least getting 2 sets of 5, which would be about $50, and then the decals makes it $63. But you don't get the rule booklet, and you don't get the cards, so it's not really beginner friendly to do something like that. This is probably a way to go when you want to enhance your army, get more to it. But I probably would start with the Afrika Korps, Rommel's Afrika Korps. Now there's another way that you can do it. The reason why I say go with those is because tanks are fun. They're fun in this game. You get to do a lot with them. They're easy to paint. Much easier than infantry or artillery. But if you're not afraid of painting up guns and infantry, then here's a fun build. You get 2 of these. That's $14.50 for each unit, and it'll get you a headquarters unit. So let's take a look at the over here, just so you know what I'm talking about, because this is going to get a little weird here. So you got the Afrika Rifle Company. If you buy 2 of these blisters, then you'll get these 2 and the headquarters, because I think you get half the headquarters from each of these units. Then you have to buy a set of guns, and that is right there. Okay, so that's 22. So you got 29 plus 22, so that's $51. These come with the unit cards, so that's good. And then, well, what do you do after that? Well, here's what you get. And all you guys, I think a lot of you know what's about to happen here. But then you get yourself a box of Tigers, only $18. Now remember how many points these bad boys are. $18 for 59 points. But there's a problem. So if you look at what you have here so far, you got 2 points, and 7 points, and 7 points. That's 16 total. And then you got your 3 guns, so that's 28 points. 28 plus 59, you're talking 80. I'm doing my math here. What did I say? 28 and 59 79, 80, 87 points, is that? Oh my goodness, I'm a little nervous here, so my math brain is not working real well. So you're not quite at 100 points. Yeah, you have to do the infantry and the guns. You have to paint them up. But if you're not intimidated by that, then you know, it's not a lot of painting. You got 2 tanks, the Tigers, and even though you're short, it only costs you $69 at this point. And then I recommend, remember this? The command cards for Afrika Korps. The command cards for Afrika Korps. Well, let me just correct something. I forgot to put in the HMG and the mortar. If you max it out, then it's 10 points per unit. So that's 20, 22, 34. So then you've got, you know, with the Tigers, what is that, 92 points? So you got 92 points. You get the cards, and you get something like Rapid Fire, or you get Schnell and Deadly Gunner on your Tigers, and that's 100 points. Okay, so yeah, you don't have the rule booklet. The infantry and the guns are going to be a little bit more detailed to paint, but it's going to be less paint, and it's really not a lot, you know, to do. But the way that you play it is you put 1 infantry on 1 objective, 1 infantry and the guns on the other, and then you just take your Tiger tanks wherever they need to go and just go berserk. It's you know, I haven't used it yet. I do use a Tiger against Stacy, as you've seen in my battle reports, but it will be fun. So for beginners, you know, don't let the veterans say, "Oh, that's cheese," or "That's, you know, overpowered," or whatever. You're a beginner. They should know how to beat you, even though they can't penetrate the Tigers. And you're going to have fun rolling around the board, sitting back with your infantry and just using your Tigers to destroy stuff until somebody wins. So it makes the game very simple for beginners. So that's the one that I was considering. Make it easy. You know, you could buy this for real cheap. You still get all the unit cards. It's just you don't get the rule booklet, and you know, it's not I don't think it's going to be an effective force. So, you know, I wouldn't bring it to a tournament, expect to be a champion with it, but I do expect to have a lot of fun with it. And it's a great force to build around, because you know, you start getting other models. Once you get these models, you paint them up, they're good to go. You got the Tigers, and then you take a Tiger out of your force and take that 29 points and put in some tanks, put in some artillery or planes or whatever you want, and then, you know, you could take out the other Tiger, and there's another 29 points that you can put other models into. So that I recommend. I think that's a good way to go if you're, you want to get into it. You have the hardback rule booklet or something, and you go ahead and get this. You're not afraid of painting infantry and guns. You know, so you're looking at 4, 5, 6, 7. So that's 14, 15, 16, 19 stands of infantry and guns, and 2 Tiger tanks. So that's what I would recommend for beginners. The other options are also great and a lot of fun also, but I think this is the best way to get your force started, using as little as possible. You still got a strong variety of things that you have, and then you have a lot of options to add on. You get a box of 88s, or you get a box of artillery, you get a box of tanks. You could always just kind of enter them in slowly and surely into your force. So I hope you enjoyed the video. Please leave your comments below. I'm not sure when's the next time something's going to pop in my head that I'm going to want to do a video. This might be the last one until Stacy and I can get a game in. But until then, see you around, and happy gaming.